I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, May the 30th, brought to you in part by YTEX Corporation. YTEX provides excellence in animal health, including but not limited to All-American ID tags for all classes of livestock. For more information, go to y-tex.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards had a lot of rain up there in Oklahoma Panhandle. It's not out of drought yet, but they've had some serious rain, 5 and 6 inches there. The Beaver River is running over its banks there, which is just below the stockyards there, but I'm told everything's good there at the stockyards. But got a lighter run, like everybody is running here of late, about 1,200 head, be about 400 head of calves, including in that is a consignment of 170 head of 4-weight steer calves that are 90 days weaned and ready to turn out somewhere. About 35 head of little peewees pulled off some pairs weighing 250 pounds and down. About 450 head of yearlings, be 3 loads of 9-weight yearling steers there. And then a couple hundred cows, including 61 young to middle-aged fancy black pairs with nice 200-pound calves at their side. I hope you guys enjoyed your Memorial Day holiday. A lot of you don't really get to celebrate it, but we do take notice, and I hope you took the time to remember why we do take notice of that Monday holiday there. I was able to go and had the opportunity to go up to Powell, Wyoming last Thursday and speak to a group of Wyoming ag bankers, and then kind of took my time coming down. Didn't have a sale over the holiday weekend, so went down through Cody and spent a day in Yellowstone Park, Jackson Hole, come down, stopped at Craig, Colorado, which is really beautiful there, and then all the way down through Colorado. But everywhere I went, it was just wet and green. Way up there in Wyoming, there in the central part of Wyoming, the grass was short but still green. Everywhere was green and looked really good. You could see the signs of a hard winter up there in that Wyoming part of the country there, but man, spring is coming hard and it is really green and pretty. Like I said, Craig, Colorado, just water standing everywhere, and man, was it beautiful through that country. But northeastern New Mexico looks good. Of course, the Texas Panhandle looks good, but like the title of this report, it's Feast or Famine. Seems like we can't get just some timely rain showers. It has to be either a storm or nothing, and now that we're getting some rain, it's flooding type flash flood rains, and we're glad for the moisture, but I'm sure you guys have seen we had some really big rains there in the Hereford area, and Hereford, Texas is known, they call it the beef capital of the world. It's known for its feedlots, and there's a lot of them around. Had some flash flooding rains there in a short time, just a couple of 3 days there, as much as 10 inches of rain around Hereford there. And indeed, there was 3 feedlots that had severe flooding there around Hereford. And you know, everybody's guessing what the death loss is going to be. I talked to somebody that would know, give me a conservative call, and he said they're expecting 3,000 head to have perished in the flood waters, and it might possibly get as high as 5,000. But I'm sure you guys have heard more than that, guesstimated and things like that. You know, it was only about 30 or 40 miles away that they had those 18,000 dairy cows here just a month or so ago that burned up, and normally you don't hear of anything like that going on in the Texas Panhandle, but and you guys think, well, 10 inches of rain, that's not too big a deal. Well, when you're in the Texas Panhandle, it is. We're very flat. We have very few creeks, streams, or rivers for that water to go to, and it's not going to go very fast if it does. What we do have is playa lakes where that water kind of settles, and heck of it is, a lot of these feedlots are built close to playa lakes because you know, whenever they were built, they needed the the runoff and needed the slope there for that. And then also, you know, the lagoons that you have to put in, they're just not stout enough to stand that much water, and then the water gets deep. Cattle get in there, and you think, why didn't you get them out of there? Well, you know, it just, you know, when you got sheets of rain pouring down, you're not necessarily thinking about that. It's been, you know, decades since you've had a rain like that. You don't really know how it's going to come out. But no fault of anybody. It was all Mother Nature. And sometimes stuff just happens, guys. Let's talk about your board for all of last week. Of course, this Monday was a holiday, so we didn't have any board. But you go back to last week, a week ago Monday, live cattle futures for June were down 67 cents. Tuesday was down 77. Wednesday up $1.82. Thursday up $1.20. Friday up a nickel. June live cattle ended the week at 167.35. That was up $1.63 for the week, and not much basis there for the basis jumpers that have given up some significant market position here in the last 3 weeks to a month. Talk about your August live cattle contract, 165.17 to end the week last week. That was up 87 cents for the week. August feeder cattle, of course, we did see your last futures contract go off the board at the end of last week. So now we're at August, and Monday it was down 20. Tuesday down $1.42, Wednesday up $1.05, Thursday up 17, and Friday down 77, with the all-important August feeder cattle contract ending the week last week at $233.92, down $1.18, mostly due to the increase in the corn futures. September contracts for feeder cattle ended the week at $237.10, so pretty good premium even to the August. Let's look at your grains. December new crop corn ended the week at $534.5. That was up 35.75 cents. Hence the feeder cattle August being down. Beans were up 14 cents for the week at $11.89.5. Kansas City July wheat $8.19 and that was down 5 cents a bushel. Talk about your fat cattle trade last week up through Thursday. 79,700 head. You get more trade whenever you have a higher market. And they did some trade on Friday, so it'll be a little bit higher than that. It'll be somewhere in the 80,000 range there. But live sales of steers and heifers last week up through Thursday ranged from 170 to 183, wide price ranges. We talked about that last week. But that price spread on live sales in the 5 area was $1 to $3 higher. Your weighted average on live steers in the 5 area, feeding region 177.71, $2.56 higher than the weighted average to close the previous week. Dress sales ranged in price last week from $280 to $289. That was $5 to $7 higher, and your weighted average on dress steers was $284.36. Up $3.52 from the end of the previous week's weighted average. Friday we did have some sales. They'll be included on our next visit whenever they finally do the wrap up for last week. But Iowa had 800 head sold confirmed on Friday at 32,100 for the week. Huge movement in Iowa again. They just keep draining Iowa. And Iowa has really good cattle. They have a lot of nice finished well-finished fat cattle there that'll grade well, but my gosh, you just keep pulling 25 to 35,000 out of there every week without a break, and then they're getting really current in there around there. Talked to some guys that feed there. They said, man, the cattle are green here. You know, why don't they just let them set like they would in the southern plains? If the cattle were green, they'd just kind of let the cattle set and then come pick them up whenever they got ready. Well, up in Iowa and even in Nebraska, they have negotiated trade up there. So, you know, that feeder that's got some cattle that look pretty good, but they're still pretty green, he might sell them to a regional packer, or he might take them to a fat cattle auction. They may not be there for the major packers just to hold back on and let him keep feeding them. that's the reason that you see that happen there. But it works very good for them. Main reason that they're running such a huge premium to the Southern Plains on their fat cattle sales. But Iowa sold some cattle confirmed on Friday at 183 live and dressed from 280 to 287. Nebraska just 300 head confirmed on Friday, 23,600 head for the week, and Friday sales were at 285.50 dressed. Kansas sold 700 in the northern part of Kansas, some good cattle that likely went north for harvest. 13,800 head for the week. All the sales on Friday in Kansas were 174, which would have been a $3 premium to what the Southern Plains sold for last week, which is way back, 12 bucks back from what the Northern Plains top price was. Texas didn't have any confirmed sales on Friday, 12,000 head for the week. Box beef cutout value were uneven for last week if you go on the weighted average from all of last week's sales. Choice cuts, your weighted average on all of last week's sales, 301.36. That was up $1.56 compared to the weighted average from the previous week's sales. Your late sales on Friday were about 2.5 bucks higher than that, so they were gaining ground late in the week on choice cuts. Selects, your weighted average on all of last week's sales, 283.59, down 31 cents from the previous week's weighted average. And your late week sales on Select are about $1.50 higher than that, near 285. So your cutout values are gaining ground here at the right before the end of the week previous to the holiday weekend. And now we've got a bunch of holidays. Father's Day will be coming up, then pretty soon it'll be 4th of July. All of those garner a lot of beef demand there for your retailer. Choice Select spread on the weighted average was just short of $18, and 546 loads of cuts, grinds, and trimmings is fairly brisk for what they report to us these days. Your slaughter, 625,000 for the week, was light, 17,000 lighter than the previous week, and 16,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Night Latch Group, that's Andy Cunningham there in western Oklahoma. He wants you to hold on to your investments. You can hedge your cattle and your corn through gross margin livestock policies there. He can help you out with that. He's got it figured out. For more information on that, go to nightlatch.net. Talk about your feeder cattle market for last week. Real-time index on DV auction ended the week at 212.40, and that would be $7.19 higher than the end of the previous week on a 7-day moving average, guys. Wow. Of course, it is on lighter receipts. Got lighter receipts in the index. Lighter feeder cattle receipts selling everywhere. If you want to check out Wednesday, not today, but Wednesday, at Paris Livestock in Paris, Texas, guys. They're going to have one of their in-house videos with DV auction. Get a hold of them there. Talk to them beforehand. Get approved. Tell them you're interested in bidding online. They've got 3 loads of big steers out of their local cattle, and then another load of heifers. I'll give you some more information on our next feeder flash here. But talk about your cash feeders and your sale barns last week. All classes of cash feeders in the sale barn sold 4 to 8 bucks higher last week, with many spots sharply higher, and all that on lighter receipts. It's just going to be very, very light until we get to the latter part of July, guys. Just not a lot of cattle moving at all. Your National Beef Wire stick out sale of the day for late last week or over the weekend was actually a Monday special sale at Russell Livestock Market in Russell, Iowa. Had 3,900 head, which is a great run for them. But on that special, Memorial Day special, a year ago they had 6,500. So we've got lighter numbers available out there. Look at this automated market report through Cattle Market Central. Lot of weights there that were well tested. 452 head of 4-weight steers, average 447 at 294.02 on the weighted average. 513 head of 5-weight steers in Russell, Iowa, average 545 with a weighted average price of $276.57. You look at the trends out there, they're all sharply higher. Of course, they had a lighter run a week ago, but 340 head of 6-weight steers in Russell averaged 654, weighted average price $257.76, and 350 head of 7-weight steers averaged 739, average price $233.22 on all those. How about the heifers? 520 head of 4-weight heifers there at the sale, average 455 pounds with a weighted average price of $252.18. 434 head of 5-weight heifers, average 546, average price $238.29. And 359 head of 6-weight heifers, average 639, weighted average price $225.06. Give you some individual quotes because not a lot going on over the holiday weekend or even earlier in the week, but Russell, Iowa did have some stick out sales there on Monday for their Memorial Day special. They had 2 loads, and I didn't give you any 8 weights on steers, 2 loads of steers weighed from 810 to 820 and bring $226.50. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere over the weekend was in Erickson, Nebraska on Saturday. Jermackerson, no BS, top quote for the day. They had 90 steer calves, weighed 514, bring $309.50. But one that same consignment I thought might have been even better was 90 bigger brothers, weighed 619 and bring $294.50. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.